We'll be taking our questions very soon. So let me give you some other facts, like about 3 or 4 before I move into this. Magnetism at the center of a bar. Is it unity? Is it 4, 5, or at its maximum? The correct answer will be what? 0. There is no magnetism at the center of a given magnet. So take note of that fact. When an athlete perspires after running, what do you think happened? How does it lose what? Heat. That will be through what? Through evaporation. So let me stop at that while we move into our questions. So, question number 1. It says, it's a total internal reflection. This question is flowing from 2000. Total internal reflection occurs when light moves from where? You have an option A there, a dense medium to a less dense medium. B, air to water. C, water to glass. And D, a less dense to a dense medium. Definitely not B and not C, because that is from less dense medium to what? To dense medium, which is also flowing along with option D. And we said before that it has to flow from what? From a more dense medium to less dense. Looking at what happened on the board, option B, C, and D are all the same. The correct option there is what? A, and A will be our answer. So let's go to number 2, and that's 2005. It says a thin converging lens has a power of 4 diopter. Determine its focal length. Do you remember from the previous slides that I told you that the power of the lens is given by the inverse of the focal length? Can you still remember that? So from that question 2, it says what? A thin converging lens has a power of 4 diopter. Determine its focal length. Very simple question. JAMB doesn't have time to give you something that will take your time so much. All they need to do is to give you a tricky question that you need to think of. So the power of the lens is 1 over the focal length. And then from here, the power has been given as 4, which is what? 4 equal to what? 1 over f. Cross multiply, 4f equal to what? 1. Therefore, f equal to 1 over 4. Take a look at what happened on the board and what will be our answer. That will be what? 0. What? That should be 25. That's the focal length. So, done. So, those are the types of questions that you will be having. So let's move to the next one, number 3. It says, total internal reflection of light. Point 2 says, conservation of light energy. Point 3 says, relative motion of the earth, sun, and moon. 4, rectilinear propagation of light. Then the question that flows from there is, which of the above is a phenomenon of total solar eclipse? I hope you remember that concept of solar eclipse. The 3 of them have to be in one line, and one will be at the middle, casting shadow on the top. And if they must be on the same line, that tells you that point 4 is correct as one of them, rectilinear propagation of light. Then let's take a look at what happened next. Do we have 1, 2, 3 having something to do with the question? Yes, take a look at 3. Relative motion of the earth, sun, and moon. Before the concept of solar will come to be, there must be a movement before they align. That tells you that point 32 is part of it. Is there conservation of energy involved? No. That means point 1, point 2 is off. The correct answer will be what? 3 and 4. Let's check the option. 3 and 4, where are you? D is the correct answer. So that tells you that for you to have total solar eclipse from the points given above, D is the correct answer. Alright, question 4. It says an object of height 5 cm. So let's take our details. So height of the object is 5 cm. It says placed at 20 cm from a concave mirror. That definitely is what? Your object distance. So that's U, 20 cm. And the focal length F is given as what? 10 cm. Now we're looking for the what? The image height. Let's call it HV. okay, or HI, as the case may be. So from here, if we need the image height, we're going to have a relationship like this, H naught, HI, then we have what? V over what? U. But the problem here now is that there is no what? There is no V. And we are still looking for what? H1. So two parameters not known. But with the help of your U, I can determine the what? The V. So let's go through this and see what we have. We can have 1 over F equal to 1 over V plus 1 over U. So what do we have? We have 1 over 10 equal to what? 1 over V. U is known now. And that's what? 20. So what do we do here? We have 1 over V equal to 1 over 10 minus 1 over 20. And the LCM is 20. If 20 goes into 10, definitely is what? It's 2. 2 by 1. We have 2 minus what? 20 into 20 is 1. 1 times 1, I have 1. So that means 1 over V is 2 minus 1 over 20. So my 1 over V will be 1 all over what? 20. So what do we do? Let's reverse this. That means my V by 1, V, 20 by 1 is what? It's 20. Don't forget, the work is in centimeters. We are not done because we are not looking for the image height or image distance. Rather, we are looking for what? The height of the image. So let's apply this now. H0 is what? 5. Then H1 unknown or HI. V is just gotten as what? 20. And originally we know what? That our U is what? Is 20 as well. Okay? So let's cross multiply. HI. Okay, what do we have? This by this, I have it as what? 5 by 20 equal to what? 20 HI. Divide through by what? By 20. Then my answer will be what? Will be 5 what? Centimeters. So HI is what? Is 5. And that is what? Option D. That's flowing from 2008. So let me move to question 5. It says, convex mirrors are used as driving mirror. I'm sure you have a good idea now, for those of you that drives. Okay? Convex mirrors are used as driving mirror because images formed are what? Let's look at the option and see the one that will meet up with what we have said so far. A, the images are erect, and that's true. Virtual and diminished. Let me read through all of them. B says erect, real, and diminished. C says erect, virtual, and magnified. D, inverted, virtual, and diminished. When you have questions like this, what do? You use subtraction method and begin to remove one of them, one after the other. So let's take number 1 as a case study now. Is A correct? Erect? Yes, the images are always standing when we say erect. Okay? Virtual, that is, the images are not forming on the screen. And that's true, because the more the car comes close to you, you see the distance changing. That tells you that it's not real. It is what? It's virtual. And then it's diminished. Could that be true? Let's give that a visit option B. Erect, that's true. Real, that is not. Because of real, we are taking out B. Let's look at C. Erect, and that's true. Virtual, oh, that's correct. Magnified, could that be true? Magnified, no, the images are always very small. So magnify is taking that one out. Let's go to option D. Inverted, and that's definitely not true. You cannot be seeing car the other way around. It's always real. So we can take away B, C, and D. And the correct answer we want A. So that's it. Next one. We have question 6, and it says, if the refractive index of crown glass is 1.51, what is the critical angle? This question will not take you up to 10 seconds and you are done. We have been given the what? The critical, the refractive index as 1.51, and we have to get the critical angle. Have you forgotten that we have a relationship about critical angle in this form? N equal to 1 over sine C. Can you still remember this? Applying this will give you straightforward answer. Refractive index is 1.51, which is the N here, equal to what? 1 over sine what? C. We need to determine the value of C. What do? We simply cross multiply and find the inverse. Okay, let's do that together. So that's 1.51 sine C equal to 1. Therefore, sine C will definitely be 1 over what? 1.51. So in order for me to get my critical angle, I I find what? The sine inverse of 1 over 1.51. So that definitely will give you your critical angle. And that is going to be what? 41.5. And that's option C. So, very simple. I have to analyze it. But in the case of being in the class, doing the needful, you have to be as fast as possible. So let's move straight away to question 7. And it goes this way. An object placed at the bottom of a well full of clear water appears closer to the surface. Have you noticed that before? You have an object down the pool. It looks as if it's close, but as you are going down, you find out that you are still going down and down. That is the what? The depth is increasing. What is that explaining to you? A, we have diffraction. B, we have reflection. We have refraction. And then option D is polarization. If you are careful enough following the tutorial, we've talked about the what? This concept of the properties of wave, and which should be the answer. Looking through with what we have, definitely is refraction. And that is option what? C. It defines the what? The bending of wave. I told you the other time that a man enters the pool. It appears as if the legs are short, but on coming out, you see the real height. It's defining the concept of what? Refraction. And let's go to the last question 8. It says, dispersion occurs when white light passes through a glass prism. Why? Why will that happen? What is the meaning of dispersion? It means separation of colors into its constituent color. Yes. So why is that happening through a glass prism? Let's look at the options that we have. A, we have different hidden colors in the glass. Is that true? That could not be true. B, different speed of the colors in the glass. Wow, could that be true? We'll come back there later. C says defects in the glass. Defects in glass does not define the what? The separation of colors. No. Option D, high density of the glass. The density of the glass definitely does not have anything to do with dispersion. And what will definitely give us the right answer here is different speed of the colors in the glass. I'm going to analyze that briefly, because anytime you talk about the colors of rainbow, what do? It's always coming in what? In group. That is serially, ranging from what? Red. The next thing you have is orange. You have your what? Yellow. The next thing is what? Green. Then you have your what? Blue. You have the indigo, and you have violet. It must always flow in this order. If you look at it critically, it's telling you the what? The speed of these colors. So if I ask you now between red and violet, which has the what? Highest speed? I'm sure you'll be able to tell me the answer. That's why red appears faster to you. That means red is what? Having the highest speed. If you compare it with that of violet. I can do that comparison as part of the question as we have here. This is 2010 and it's question 8 from what we have for today. Let's look at the next question, and that's question 9. It says in the diagram above, it says which of the angle theta 1, theta 2, theta 3 and theta 4 is the angle of deviation of the ray of light passing through the glass prism XYZ. You can see the diagram above. Sorry, it's not that clear, but if you take a good look at it, you have your what? You have your theta 1 here, you have your theta 2 here, you have theta 3, and you have theta 4. And the question is now telling us which of these 4 represents the what? The angle of deviation. If you are very conversant with your prism, you will have these, just like I will have on the board now. It is always the angle between your incidence and that of the what? The emergence. So you have your incidence, definitely you have refraction, then you have your emergence. So if you can trace the angle, the incidence line, and then that of the emergence line where they meet here, the angle between them is referred to as the what? The angle of what? Deviation. And looking at the board, is it theta 1, theta 2, theta 3, or theta 4? Definitely is theta 3. And our answer definitely will be that of what? A. And that's flowing from 1997. You can study randomly. Physics is always reshuffled because the facts remain. I told you while we started this class that you must have the facts at your fingertip so that at any point in time you will know what is happening. Nothing else here can be taken as answer aside theta 3. So let's take the next question. All right, this one is recent one, 2021. It says the velocities of light in air and glass are 3 times 10 raised to the power of 8 meters per second and 2 times 10 raised to the power 8 meters per second, respectively. That tells you in air it's 3 times 10 raised to the power 8, the art of glass is 2 times 10 raised to the power 8. And the question is, if the angle of refraction is 30 degrees, okay, we are now to determine the sign of the angle of incidence. The sign of angle of incidence. How do you handle this? All you need to do is to find the relationship that exists between the speed. We talked about it before. You can revert back and check the formula page, just like we said. Make sure you have that at your fingertip. It will always help you out. So looking at what we have on the board, we can say the speed in air all over the speed in glass. The question called it velocity, please. Even though I said speed, you know, speed is a scalar quantity, and then your velocity is a what? Sorry, speed is a scalar, and then velocity is vector. That is, it has both magnitude and direction, but we can always use them interchangeably. So we have V in air, V in glass. Then what do you now do? We now say sine in what? That is, we are looking for the sine of angle of what? Of incidence, and the sine incidence all over sine of what? Refraction. With this, you can get to the what? To the root of the final, that's the final answer. What's V air? From here we have what? 3 times 10 raised to the power of 8. What is V glass? We have 2 multiplied by 10 raised to the power of 8. The next question is, what is the angle of incidence? 30 degrees. So we now have sine 30, which is definitely 0.5. And then you have sine R, which is our major concern of the day. So this is what we have. So we are looking for R. So what do you do? All you need to do is to cross multiply and divide both sides by what you have here. So let's take the final shot, sine R on this. Okay, fast note. So 2 by 10 raised to the power of 8. Then sine 30. I told you sine 30 is half, which is 0.5. Okay, then all over what? What do you have here? That's 3 times 10 raised to the power of 8. So 0.5, let's quickly take it as what? This, that's sine 30. Affecting this, half of this will definitely give us what? 1 by 10 raised to the power of 8, dividing it by 3, 10, 8. This one can go. So you now have 1 over 3. So thank God you have your calculator with you, even though it's a mini one, it's always able to handle this kind of case. So what do you have? As the case may be, you're going to arrive at 0.75 as your final answer. That's 2021. You have 0.75. Let me look at number 11 and let's see what we have. Number 11. In comparing the camera and the human eye, the film of the eye of the camera function as the what? Now I repeat the question again. Take note of something here. You can compare the camera and that of the eye. They are almost doing the same thing, but something is significant about them. That is, there is differences. We have differences and then we have similarities. So what is the what? The film of that camera trying to do is just focusing the image on the film. And then if you look at the what? The eye, what does that in the eye is your what? Is it a retina? Is it iris? Is it cornea? And is it pupil? Looking at what we have on the board, for just elementary knowledge in our biology, images are always formed on the retina. So that makes A the correct answer. That tells you the answer will remain as A. We'll be back soon. Just stay tuned.